I've loved the show ever since I was a little girl in Cyprus. I watched it with my family. So to be a part of it and to have gotten the job was such a dream come true. So they called me. I was actually in Italy at the time on a contract with another dance company. And they called me, they told me I got it, and I just burst into tears. Yeah, tears of happiness. It really was a dream come true. So at the time, I was doing a contract with Burn the Floor with my partner, Simone. So we were both calls for the audition. We did it together. So that was, yeah, it was a special moment. So I had a Zoom call. Obviously, it's always a bit nerve-wracking. You don't know what's going to happen. As dancers, we can't assume that we have our spots back every year. But for some reason, I just felt that I had more time. It came a little bit sudden. It was said that the show is going in a different direction and they want new faces, which was a little bit disheartening because I do think that I'm still relatively new and one of the youngest ones, and I just thought that I have so much more to give. So to have to say goodbye to Strictly is sad. It's sad because I had so much passion still for the show. I was so excited and happy to be there, and I felt like I had a lot to give. I felt like there was a lot the audience still didn't know about me and still to learn about me. It's like grief. When you lose something that you love, you go through a whole mixture of emotions. Started off with sadness, a bit of confusion, frustration, but that turned into hope. I think I was really lucky to have my family and my friends that supported me throughout. I mean, one of the great things about the show was all the friendships that we formed, you know, and that we form and that I will carry with me forever. And I'm really close to Vito, Diane, Nancy. You know, they've been there for me throughout my whole journey, and we share a friendship that for sure is going to last a lifetime. Yeah, I think mental health is a big subject, and it's something that should be spoken about more. Obviously, being on the show, it gives you so much fame and exposure, and then to just lose that in a moment can really affect your mental health. Obviously, you know, it was really tough for Robin. I think it's really important that we seek help, you know, as professionals and just in general, when we feel like we need help, to seek it, whether it's through your friends or family or seeing a therapist. It's really important to seek the help you need. Yeah, so it's been a few weeks now, and I feel like I'm improving, you know, day by day. I'm seeing things in a much more positive way. I think it's just that journey that you go through, you know, like I'm motivated for the future. I think that there's a lot of things now that I can, you know, shift my focus on. Naturally, when you're on the show, you know, it takes up everything. It takes up your whole life. And you know that's the great thing about it, because you're passionate and you're doing what you love, but now I think naturally more different avenues will open, which can be good. I think the main thing that kept me through that painful period was the support of my family and my partner and those who are close to me. You know, I would just talk to my mom. She'd help me see things, you know, more clearly, and my partner was helping me, you know, reshift my focus on, right, like, what should we do now? You know, how should we come out of this? Let's plan ahead for the future. So I think that really helped me to reframe my mindset and see things in a positive way. So my mum is Sri Lankan, my dad is Greek Cypriot. It was really lovely, and it was a proud moment for me to represent those two nationalities on Strictly that I believe have never been represented before. So, you know, I'm a big believer in the importance of representation, and I think that it was a great thing to be able to do that. I did receive messages from girls who were Cypriot and South Asian just saying how proud they are and how happy that they are that someone is representing them, you know, on such a big platform and a big show. So those were proud moments for me. I don't think that the rebranding after the scandals is anything connected to me. I'm super professional. I call myself a professional. I get on with the job, I don't complain, and I try and always deliver my best. So I don't think the two are connected. I don't think it's sexist that there's been more women that haven't had their contract renewed than men. I just think that's because originally there were more women in the cast. I think there were 2 more women than men. So naturally, I think it made sense to get rid of more women. I also don't see the ageism because I was the second youngest from the female professionals, so. Well, I did try and grow my TikTok. I must not have done a good enough job, but I did try. It's a bit tricky. Some videos go viral and other ones just get like 100 views with that. But I do think it's a good thing to be, popular on TikTok, bring in all the young generation. I do see why having a big TikTok following is a good thing. It brings in the young generation, and we need to stay, on trend and with time, and what's happening in the moment. So I can see why it's important to have a good following on social media. Yeah, I mean, with partying on tour and on the show, actually, I'm pretty boring when it comes to that. I am in bed at 9 p.m., especially when we've got a double show day. Sometimes I don't see how everyone has so much energy to go out. I never had it. So yeah, I'd be in my bed, 9 p.m., get my rest, make sure I have energy for tomorrow's show. I was never a party goer, or whatever you call it, a party person, yeah. I absolutely loved dancing with Brian McFadden. He's so kind and funny and cool. We just got on really well. And it was funny because in the beginning he told me, I do not want to dance the jive, anything but the jive. But we got given the jive. And he did incredible, We really managed to get the best out of him, and he pulled out such an amazing performance. And I think everyone loved it. I was just really proud of him. Yeah, dancing with Jamie Borthwick as well. Just like I said while we were on the show, we had this sort of sibling relationship, and he did really well, considering the fact that he was working a full-time job with EastEnders at the same time, and there were weeks where we had just a day to put together the choreography and for him to be ready to dance it on a Saturday night. I think it was a lot of pressure, but we did our best, and I'm proud of how he did. Obviously, as a professional, you've got a big job because you're not only taking care of yourself and creating choreography, you're taking care of another person. And you are responsible for that person's feelings, how they're dancing on stage, and that they're happy all the time, but you can't control everything that someone does, as your partner. And I think, obviously, there may have been things, but obviously you can't control someone completely. I'm not a controlling, professional in that way, and telling my celeb what to do and how to do. I do think that when they're on the show, they need to enjoy it because they just have one chance at it, and never again. Unlike the professionals that come back every year. So I wanted Jamie to have the best time, and I didn't know what was going on. I was fast asleep in my bed, as I said. I'm not a party person. I don't really, like going out too much and like clubbing or any of that. I find it quite draining. So I tended to just stay in the hotel and just keep to myself. Do you know what? I've never been drunk. That's a fun fact about me. I've never been drunk. A lot of people will say, oh my God, how boring. I have a drink, I'll have a cocktail, maybe like one. So I can drink socially or, a glass of wine, but I've never actually properly been drunk. I just don't like the feeling of being out of control of myself and my body. So when it reaches a point where I feel my eyes are a bit heavy, I just stop. I think the way I saw it is that being a professional in Strictly, you have the responsibility to give joy to people and happiness and magic, and share this big passion of dancing that you have. So I think my purpose on the show was always that I wanted to be a good role model for young girls and a good inspiration. That was always my purpose. And then obviously there's so much that people don't see. They just see what happens on the screen, but there's hours and hours of practice. So it's not a job like a 9-to-5 where you can work and then come home and relax and completely, empty your mind. I feel like being on a show like Strictly, you need to be mentally switched on all the time. So apart from the physical side of it, there's the mental side of it, there's the public scrutiny that you need to be mentally strong enough to handle and deal with. You need to always be in a good place, I feel. You need to always be in a good place because to take care of a celebrity, you need to be good. If you're not feeling good or if you're having troubles, I feel like that can... So being a professional on the show and having a partner, you're not only a teacher, you're a friend, you're a therapist, you're a parent, even sometimes you take that role. You're everything to them. You're their rock and they rely on you because it can be very intimidating to dance in front of millions of people when you've never done it before. So, apart from caring for ourselves, we need to know how to look after another person, and that's a big thing. I can't say it's unfair because I know that we're not guaranteed a spot, but what I do feel is I had so much more to give. I had this fire still burning inside of me. I had ideas and things that I wanted to do, and I feel like my time was just cut short. When they told me that I wasn't coming back, there was a moment of shock because you don't expect it. Even though we know our places aren't secured, I think for me, being one of the youngest, not really having a chance to shine on the show, just having one partner, I felt my story was unfinished. So there was an element of surprise, yeah. I mean, it's great that Strictly offer welfare now, which wasn't available before. I think it's a really important thing because we need not only the celebrities, but the professionals as well, need someone to talk to and, someone to release any tensions or any worries or anything like that. So yes, the welfare was there to comfort us if we had bad news. I did go from being very sad and almost in a sense of hopelessness to actually having a lot of hope. So I want to thank my family and my friends and actually all the public and the people online who've sent me so many kind messages. It means so much to me, and I want them to know that they've helped me through this tough period. I'm looking ahead now with gratitude and hope for the future. There's a lot of things that I'd love to start working on, different avenues, different paths. And sometimes they say when life closes one door, another door opens. So I'm hopeful for the future. Pulling out of the tour was a really hard decision, and it's one that took me time to make, but after reflection, I knew that was the best decision for me. I was really looking forward to seeing everyone and dancing with my friends, but ultimately I had to listen to myself, and I knew that I wouldn't be able to give 100% emotionally now. So it was a decision I took to take care of myself. It would have been really hard to dance and give my everything, knowing that I wouldn't be back on the show. And I think that's the main reason why I pulled out. It would just be very emotionally difficult. And also, I wouldn't be able to give my 100% to the audience who deserve the best, and that would make me feel terrible. I don't think that there is a hierarchy. I think, as we've seen, new professionals have come in and become very popular very quickly. But I do think that the more opportunities that you have on the show and the more exposure you get, the easier it is to, grow on that popularity scale and for people to get to know you more.